Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zai Rudder, and I'm your host today for CAIR on Air. Ramadan Mubarak to all of our viewers. May Allah accept all of our good deeds for this last 10 days of this holy month. I'm very excited to show you all a program we've been put together that's been a joint effort between CAIR and all of the CAIR chapters. We have a series of recorded videos from our CAIR representatives across the country, beginning with remarks from our national leadership. This program today details all of the hard work CAIR has done throughout the year. And it's with that we would like to encourage all of our viewers to donate and to give what they can, especially to our local chapters. And with that, here is our program.
Assalamu alaikum. For CAIR National, resilience means inspiring Muslims in America to be confident about the practice of their faith. Resilience for CAIR National means mobilizing more than 1 million Muslim voters to vote to oppose bigotry and injustice. Resilience for CAIR National means speaking truth to power, even when it's not easy, convenient, or comfortable, or popular. Resilience for CAIR National means standing by a Muslim teacher fired because she refused to pledge economic loyalty to the State of Israel, won her job back. Resilience means standing up against Islamophobia at home and globally, and for the human rights of Muslims in China, in Myanmar, in France, in Syria, in Yemen, in Palestine, in Kashmir, and other places. Resilience for CAIR National is to make sure that our chapters in the country are strong and the Muslim community has access to CAIR services. Assalamu alaikum.
For CAIR LA, resilience looked like the adaptation our staff undertook to continue serving the largest Muslim community in the country, here in the greater Los Angeles area. We refused to let the restrictions and challenges caused by COVID-19 to prevent us from empowering our community and protecting its rights. Our civil rights and immigration attorneys helped hundreds of community members as they faced discrimination at the workplace, bullying at their schools, harassment by government agencies, and delays in immigration processing. Despite not being able to physically meet at our mosques and centers, our staff mobilized our community for this past critical 2020 election. Hundreds of thousands of community members were informed about the candidates and issues and empowered to vote through our candidate forums, voter registration guide, and voter registration efforts. Thank you for your support, and Ramadan Mubarak to you and your family.
For CAIR Houston, resilience means serving the greater Houston Muslim community for 19 years and counting, helping victims of hate or illegal discrimination, whether it's at school or work,
or improperly profiled or harassed by law enforcement or the FBI. It means suing the state of Texas for unconstitutional legislation which limited free speech and the right to boycott.
It means stepping up and standing firm in justice by holding our elected officials and those in power accountable.
It means standing by our coalition partners when they are under attack. It's conducting countless Know Your Rights seminars and educating our community as to our civil rights and responsibilities. Standing up for our community centers and masjids when they come under attack by bigots who would do them harm or unlawful surveillance by law enforcement.
Resilience looks like this. Resilience looks like CAIR Houston.
For CAIR Michigan, resilience looks like active litigation against the city of Troy in response to discriminatory zoning practices, hindering the opening of the city's first Islamic place of worship. Resilience looks like delivering 100 hijabs to Muslim women housed at the Michigan Department of Corrections.
Resilience looks like returning over 100 lawful permanent residents stranded in Yemen back to the U.S.
Resilience looks like partnering with schools across the state to uphold Muslim representation, religious accommodations, and proper response to and prevention of school bullying in the form of Islamophobia.
Resilience looks like instituting a religious head covering policy at Genesee County Jail to guarantee privacy for women and ensure readily available hijabs upon entry. Resilience looks like urging law enforcement to investigate incidents of vandalism of Islamic centers as possible hate crimes.
For CAIR Michigan, resilience looks like countering anti-Muslim bigotry in all sectors and spaces.
Assalamu alaikum. For CAIR Cleveland, resilience looks like providing our Ramadan guidance memo to more than 100 chaplains and wardens across Ohio to ensure the rights of thousands of incarcerated Muslims as they strive to complete their fast and stay resilient.
Providing new Muslim kits and information on civil rights to hundreds of Muslims throughout the state of Ohio through our empowerment program for incarcerated communities, EPIC for short.
Taking online courses at the Center on Muslim Philanthropy to hone my board governance and stewardship skills.
Connecting with more than 20,000 community members to mobilize the Ohio Muslim vote during the non-partisan general elections Get Out the Vote efforts.
Advocating for the rights of Ohio Muslims from home while supervising the education of my 3 children.
For CAIR New Jersey, resilience looks like fielding over 80 intakes in 2020 for cases that consist of employment discrimination, government overreach, school bullying, and harassment and intimidation in the public. Muslims from throughout the state of New Jersey call our office for free legal services and guidance in their time of need. For CAIR New Jersey, resilience looks like advocating for halal meals to be offered in public schools for Muslim students. It also looks like advocating for the Eid holiday to be taken off so that students can celebrate their families together on the holidays. For CAIR New Jersey, resilience looks like fighting FBI agents that intimidate and harass our community members. It also looks like fighting CBP agents that detain our community members at the airports for hours on end because of their religion. For CAIR New Jersey, resilience looks like introducing legislation at the state level to make New Jersey a more inclusive and welcoming state for everyone. For CAIR New Jersey, resilience looks like fighting for unity and freedom of religion for all. It means fighting injustice in this state and across the nation.
For CAIR Sacramento Valley, Central California, resilience means that even as we persevere to provide education and legal services during the pandemic, we continually advocated for families being destroyed and communities devastated by anti-Black racism and police brutality, Islamophobia, which continues in the workplace and schools, policies that increase disparity in our communities, and every type of attack rooted in white supremacy. Resilience is demonstrating our flexibility and increasing our strength. In the past few months, we have continued to provide leadership for the Muslim community on issues related to immigration, ethnic studies, police reform, representation, surveillance, and much, much more. Our work moves forward, such as advocating for elections resources in more languages and removing structural barriers that have prevented marginalized communities from becoming civically engaged. We will continue to adjust, adapt, build power, and demonstrate CAIR's resilience.
Every day, Muslims across Texas call our office during their hour of need. Men, women, children, families who have been targeted, not because they did anything wrong, but simply because they believe in La ilaha illallah and they try to practice their faith in this country. Alhamdulillah, what brings me the most joy is when we're able to fight for these Muslims in the courtroom, or take their issues to the government and halls of power, or represent them in a press conference or in front of the media and get them the help that they need. This Ramadan is an opportunity for us to understand that the struggle for social justice is the most important struggle in our time, for us to defend the deen of Allah, for us to defend the honor of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for us to defend those who are the most vulnerable in our community by getting them an attorney, by representing them in government, by going to the media, or by going to the streets, is the greatest cause that any of us can support.
For CAIR Massachusetts, resilience looks like continuing to serve and defend the Massachusetts Muslim community, no matter what outside circumstances may be. It means that our legal department continues to meet with and speak with clients and field intakes and even speak with other attorneys and judges online and over the phone to conduct everything ranging from a simple intake right on to a full court case. It means that we can reach settlement agreements for clients who have been harassed and victimized by bigoted neighbors for years to ensure that they and their families can live safely and protected in the time to come. And it means making sure that we were releasing our upcoming bullying report of Massachusetts Muslim youth during this Ramadan, inshallah, which shows that over 60% of Massachusetts Muslim high school students report being bullied because of their Muslim faith. No matter what external circumstances might be, CAIR Massachusetts will continue to be there for you. For us, that's what resilience looks like.
For CAIR Georgia, resilience looks like standing up in the face of heartbreak. When we found out that Ahmaud Arbery was gunned down on a routine jog, we stood side by side with our Black brothers and sisters to make sure that those voices, our voices, were at the forefront.
In Georgia, resilience looks like turning out the vote nonstop for 4 months without missing a beat and shattering voter turnout records.
Resilience looks like finding strength through the service in the shadow of white supremacist violence. We supported our community with resources to weather social upheaval. We created moments of calm connection and leaned on our faith.
For us, resilience looks like advocating despite setbacks, growth amid crisis. Our team is part of the CAIR Anti-Black Discrimination Task Force and has created a book club centering Black authors and learning from their perspectives.
Resilience looks like turning pandemic hopelessness into helpfulness.
We are CAIR. Assalamu alaikum and greetings of peace. For CAIR Oklahoma, resilience is all about being unapologetically Muslim, about being proud of who we are, about ensuring that future generations won't have to go through the fight that we're going through today, in protecting our brothers and sisters who face discrimination, in fighting for our very rights as American citizens, and in fighting for the dream of people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who dreamed that one day our children would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So resilience at CAIR Oklahoma is about fighting so that future generations can have the opportunity to be just as American as they deserve to be.
For CAIR Pittsburgh, resilience looks like fighting for policy change. It's collecting signatures to ban no-knock warrants and solitary confinement, to have these initiatives placed on our May ballot so our community can fight for real change. It's educating our community on the new options available to them through the voting cycle with the mail-in ballots. It's checking registration and getting new people registered to vote so that our community can have their voices heard. It's defending and protecting the civil rights and liberties of our community. Be it your workplace won't let you pray or is giving you a difficult time during Ramadan, to the FBI knocking on your door. We want to make sure our community has all the resources available to them to help them through these situations. It's working with interfaith groups to make sure that our community is safe and protected, especially during the tensions concerning the 2020 elections. It's recognizing that our current situation is not our final destination.
For CAIR Missouri, resilience looks like help assist building bridges, empowering American Muslims through the state of Missouri. It also means providing dates, copies of the Quran, prayer books for incarcerated Muslims. Those are people who don't have the liberty of breaking the fast, praying, or even reading the Quran among their families and loved ones. It also means encouraging our community members to know their rights, to come forward and report any discrimination or bigotry they might face at their work, school, while traveling, or even interacting with law enforcement. It also means providing knowledge to law enforcement on how to treat Muslims in certain situations and certain circumstances. Thank you very much.
CAIR Florida has transformed into an organization that responds to the community's needs. So when the community tells us that they need education, they need support on how to respond to an event like COVID that nobody saw coming, we have to be able to provide that. We saw the work that we do just continue and be even stronger and help even more people, which has really been a blessing. But 2020 taught us anything, it's really how to be resilient and how to adapt. We were pushed, and some of us thrive under pressure, and some of us thrive in difficulty. We've accomplished more than we may have ever accomplished previously. We've reimagined how we do our work, and it's really simple. At the end of the day, CAIR Florida is here to educate people about American Muslims, to protect American Muslims, and to advocate on behalf of American Muslims.
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. At CAIR Arizona, resilience means finding the strength to persevere and endure despite of trials and challenges. It means fighting for equity and equality. It means defending the civil rights of our community, from the FBI knocking on your door to workplace discrimination for something like wearing a hijab or not being allowed to pray at work. It means educating the community on policies that can affect them. It means empowering the community to register to vote and stay civically engaged despite of the challenges COVID-19 has brought to us. Here at CAIR Arizona, we want to provide you with all the tools and resources to make life easy on you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Imran Siddiqui, Executive Director of CAIR Washington State. And resiliency for CAIR Washington State looks like withstanding the immense challenges of the past year, only to emerge as a stronger organization. CAIR Washington has been on the forefront of fighting for civil rights in our state, growing our legal team to a second attorney and opening our Immigrants' Rights Center. We've been at the tables on policy issues, making sure that more just laws are passed in our state when it comes to police accountability and mass surveillance. And that's just evidenced by the fact that we held our Muslim Days at the Capitol, which was held in a completely virtual setting with over 100 attendees and over 60 legislative meetings. This truly shows how empowered our community is. And to get a closer look of what CAIR Washington State is doing, tune into our Facebook Live at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time today, Our Path Forward, What to Stake This Ramadan, to get a closer look at what we're doing this Ramadan. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Greetings of peace and Ramadan Mubarak. At CAIR New York, resilience means serving our New York community effectively and actively to defend equality and dignity for all people. It means answering your call when the FBI comes knocking at your door, supporting a hate crime victim, whether it be Muslim or a person of another targeted community, or helping your child if they're called a terrorist at school.
At CAIR New York, resiliency also means always moving ahead with integrity, not necessarily taking the easiest or most frequented path, but rather by pursuing truth, justice, and humanity with courage. It also means giving victims the power to advance recourse without compromising their values and faith.